Welcome to Château Arnoux-Saint-Auban for the finale of the Sailplane Grand Prix. It's a beautiful day.
It's a very nice feeling. So it gets relaxed, and I think it's a different life now. Yeah, very happy.
Other pilots are very, very good.
Race day 3 at Saint-Auban for the World Sailplane Grand Prix Final. A task first to the south, to Vinon, and then over the Plateau Valensole to the Haute Verdun, back towards Saint-Auban and the village of Montfort, and then we go up into the mountains. The start was good, down the flatlands alongside the Durance Valley, and we had excellent conditions and pilots flying in flatland style, and everybody stayed more or less together until the turning point at Vinon. And from Vinon, they flew over the Plateau de Valensole, with everybody doing more or less the same thing, cloud base 2,300 meters, and staying as a major group with a few trailing a little bit behind. The first breakaway came at Mondenier, when Mario tried to run the ridges going over the Haute Verdun to run into the second turning point. He continued to run alone until he returned to the coupe, but now Sebastian was leading the major group who were catching him quite quickly. The next turning point at Montfort, the village next to Saint-Auban, the entire competition arrived more or less at the same time. And now we saw the race start again as they headed towards the mountains. It was led by Sebastian at this point, along with Philippe de Péchet, and they left that first turning point and everybody took the route along the Vaumeuse and up to Autun, except for Mike 7, Marius, who went a completely different way. A big climb on the top of Tête Grosse enabled most people to get the altitude to reach the Toisy-Veche, but some pilots, they chose to go straight to the Toisy-Veche and they arrived much lower. And Sebastian and Uli climbed away, but the pilots who climbed to Tête Grosse had the altitude to go straight over the top, and that made them very happy. The two groups now, the group that arrived low were climbing to the south, and we had one group passing over the Toisy-Veche, and Mike 7, who had taken a completely different route by the Blaye, was well ahead. The entry into the Barcelonnette Valley was quite a good split, allowing one group to arrive quite early at turning point 4 at Barcelonnette Aero. We saw Philippe de Péchet leading out of here along with Maximilian, and they flew along the ridge and had very good run along the north side of the Barcelonnette Valley. Everybody just running in the energy that was available until they reached the end of this line. They had great energy along this run and good cumulus marking the energy. As they came to the end of the valley, they came onto Morgon, and altogether they entered the area where they should expect to find good lift. And under the next cumulus, there was excellent lift, which allowed them to get the altitude to cross the valley. It's a long crossing to Pic de Beur. The game changed again at Pic de Beur, with now Sebastian leading along with Philippe de Péchet, and Uli was with them, and Maximilian, and Catherine Sen. But Mario had gone further to the north, and he arrived lower and was left to climb below as they left to run the ridge at Pic de Beur. That leading group, they ran along the Pic de Beur all the way to the last turning point on this western end of Pic de Beur. This turning point at La Cluse was critical because the first group ran in and they didn't climb running in, and they didn't climb it initially coming out. But they did stop to climb a little bit down the track because they did not have enough altitude for the final glide. At this point, Mario turned up nearly 200 meters above, having climbed on the Pic de Beur in a very strong thermal to enough altitude to final glide. From this moment, it was really a race home. Mario was using his altitude to catch Sebastian, and he passed him at about 30 kilometers out, And at that point, Sebastian tried everything to get an advantage back on the glide. But there was never really a possibility because Mario always had a little bit more speed and a little bit more height. It continued like this all the way back to Saint-Aubin for the finish. We had very close finish with the first 5 gliders, and we had Mario coming in first with Sebastian second, followed by Catherine Sen, Christophe Abedet and Philippe Depechy. Louis Boudelec and Maximilien Seiss very close behind. A good day for all the French pilots, but a great day for Mario.
What a race!
Yes.
Okay, first I need to ask, how did you manage to catch up at Pic de Bure?
Yeah, I stayed in my thermal because I felt it had a lot of energy and all the other gliders passed, and then it was 3, 4, 5, 5.5, and then that gave me the opportunity to fly close to Pic de Bure, and I had again 5.5 meters up to the cloud base and then could push. It was great.
You did two times try to escape the gargle and they catch you up. How was the feeling?
Yeah, this morning I tried to figure out the route also in the breezes to Coupe, and it worked well, but I did not get directly the 4 meters, but you saw, I mean, it was pretty much the same. Yeah, and then it was really great. I did not feel uncomfortable because I knew the breezes was working well. Yeah.
So it was really interesting that you tried twice to escape, and finally when you kept the thermal that you managed to catch up and go fast.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of luck is always in the game. But yeah, as I said, I could feel that this was a very strong lift, and I felt, okay, it might be good to be high at Pic de Bure, and it paid out.
Congratulations. It was, again, a really, really good race to follow.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Whoa, 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 we have a winner there. Superbe Mario.